Hello everyone. So today is gonna be our day 29, second last day of our challenge. And the question that we're gonna solve today is add two numbers as linked list. The question is fairly simple. Okay, let me is this actually I was trying it right. So yeah, given you are given two non-empty linked list representing two non-negative integers. Very important thing to notice, non-empty and non-negative. So sometimes question itself gives you like, hey, there what kind of edge cases you might need to take care of, or if there is any edge case that might happen. So see, if this is given non-empty, right, that means you might have to traverse at least one node in every list, right? That is why it is given non-empty. And non-negative, see, if you add two non-negative numbers, let's just say you add -4 and you add -2, it gives you -6, right? So there won't be any carryover, right? And you won't be able to but if you have some carryover, right? Let's just say you have -1, right? Then it gives you, let's just say if you add on -6 and -4, so it gives you -10, right? So you will have a carryover of -1, correct? So in the next, adding two integers, let's just say if you have here 2 and 5. Okay, first let's read the question and then I'll be able to, give you the context of what I was trying to say. See, the digits are stored in reverse order and each of their node contains a single digit. Add the two numbers and return the sum as a linked list. Okay, you may assume the two numbers do not contain any leading zeros except the number zero itself. Okay, so you are given, let's just say 342 and 465. You have to add 342 and 465, right? The answer will be 807, but you will be given in reversed order. I am very sure, okay, because I have been personally asked this question in an interview, and there I'll tell you something. You won't be given integers in reverse order. I'm not sure why Leetcode chose to give you in reverse order, because that would, probably because of time complexity, or I'm not sure why they gave it already in a reverse order. But from as far as my knowledge goes, it won't be given in an interview that you will be given in a reverse order. So first of all, you have to reverse it. Now, why am I saying you have to reverse it? Okay. So let's take the example. Okay. Let's take the example, right? Let me paste it here. Okay. So first of all, you will be given 3, 4, 2, and 4, 6, 5, right? You have to add it. Okay. Now, where do you start your addition from? Do you start from the hundredths place or the latter stage, or um, this is the place basically. This is the ones place, this is the tens place, and this is the hundreds place, right? Correct. I'm sure you already know this by right. This is the elementary math. So you start from here and then you have a carryover. So if I remove this is 2 plus 5, that is 7. So what is the carryover? Carryover is 0. Cool. 4 plus 6, that is 10. So 0 here and 1 carryover to here. 3 plus 4, that is 7, but 8. And you have to give the reverse order. So 7, 0, 8, and this will point to null, right? So this will be this. This will be the answer of it. Okay. Now what I was saying, you cannot be given a negative integer, right? You cannot be given a negative integer, right? Let's just say this is 3, 4, -2. How can it be possible, right? How can it be possible? Is there a number called 3, 4, -2? No, right? Sorry. 3, 4, -2. No, right? It will be either 342 or maximum to maximum, it will be even -2. A single digit can be there. So -10, -11. But how will you store this minus in a linked list? That is why this is important, okay? Non-negative integer, right? Okay, so this is done. This is done. Okay. Now, how will you solve this question? This is important. You are given in reverse order, but had you been given in the question that, hey, the question is the linked list are not in reverse order, what would you have done? You would have first reversed the order. Now, why am I saying reverse the order? Because you start from the ones place, right? You start from 2 plus 5 and not 3 plus 4, right? So if it was given 3, 4, 2, and what's the other number? 4, 6, 5. 4, 6, and 5. You can only start your traversal from here, right? You can only start from here. If this is head 1 and head 2, you cannot start from here, right? You cannot start from here. To start from here, if you remember, we did a question called reverse a linked list, right? You would have to first reverse it, right? You would take a previous, you would take current, and you would take a next, right? And then you would probably reverse this, right? This will be null, and then you would switch to your next would come here, curve will come here, prev will come here, then this would again point to previous, right? If you remember that concept, then you first have to reverse the order. Now how will the reversing of order looks like? 2 4 3 and 5 6, sorry, yeah, 5 6 4, correct? Now you have to add. Okay, now to add, what do you need? You need one. You have to first traverse. Let's just say this is the head 1. List 1 is given as head 1 and list 2 is given as head 2. Cool. Okay. Now I need a different dummy node as it is given. You may, okay, add the two numbers and return the sum as a linked list. So you need to return a third linked list. Okay. So I have two numbers, I have two lists, and you have to return a third list that will be the sum of it. Okay, cool. If you remember, I told you one thing, that whenever you have to return a new list, you have to make a new list out of everything. So if you remember the question where we were at, probably this question, merge two sorted linked list, right? When we did this question, I told you to make a dummy node, right? A dummy node with initialize as -1, doesn't matter, dummy, right? And this will be pointing to null. If you remember, in this question, we took a dummy node as well because we needed to create a new list altogether, right? Although we reuse the nodes of the given linked lists, but we still used a dummy node because we had to make a third list, right? We had to make a same concept we'll use here. We'll use a dummy list, we'll use a dummy node, and then we'll make a new list out of it. Cool, great. So this is pointing to null. Cool. Now traversing from L1, so I'll say that hey, you just become temp1 and you become temp2. All this is my second, go-to thing that yeah, I always initialize it with a temp1 and temp2. I do not want my heads to lose their reference. I do not want that, right? Cool. So what is 2 plus 5? What is 2 plus 5? It is 7, right? So sum is nothing but link 1 dot val plus list 2 dot val. Cool. So this is 7, right? So now it will not point to null. It will point to a new node which will have 7, right? And I can have a current variable here which will point to dummy node. And then I'll say that, hey, current dot next is equals to new node. And I will move my current to here. Cool. Great. My temp2 goes here. Temp1 comes here. Cool. 4 plus 6. It is 10. It is 10. Okay. That means I'll have to make a new node. Can I have 10 here? Can the value be 10 here? You can say, hey, obviously it can be 10. But in addition, in elementary addition, what is the first thing that you take? You take the zeros, you take the ones place element, and then you have a carryover to the next element, to the next place, right? So, okay, we'll need a carry as well, which will be initialized with 0. And what will it be? Now sum is list 1 val plus list 2 val plus carry, right? Cool. Okay. So carry till here was 0. And now my carry becomes, first of all, I'll add something. Now what will I add? sum mod 10, because I want the zeros place, I want the ones place element, which will be nothing but 0, correct? And now my curve becomes, and carry becomes 1. This is now equal to 10, right? Okay. Now, what is this? 3 plus 4. It is 7. It is 7, right? It is 7. So 3 plus 4 plus what is carry? Carry is 1. So 8. Now cur comes here, and this is now pointing to null. Isn't this what I required? 7, 0, 8. And this is minus 1. So I'll say that, hey, I need to return this as a linked list. So I'll say that, hey, head is nothing but dummy dot next, which will be this one, right? Here is my dummy, and I need to return this. What will be? It is nothing but dummy dot next. Very easy, very easy. What will be the time complexity? Let's just think. Okay, let's just think. Or else we'll just take one more example. Okay. Let me say that 1, 0, 8 pointing to null. Cool. And 7, or let's just take one thing. Let's take 9 here, and 9 here, and a 9 here, and again a 9 here. Okay, cool. Let me change the color. Cool. Okay. Now dummy node -1 pointing to null. Right, pointing to null. I'm just not writing it because I'll have to remove it anyhow. 1 plus 9. Now sum is this thing, link 1 dot val, link 2 dot val plus carry, and carry is nothing but initialize at 0. Cool. And this is temp 1, this is temp 2. Cool. And here is my current element. Cool. 1 plus 9 is 10. Mod 10, 0 comes here, carry becomes 1. Cool. Sum is 10, but we take, now what is the carry? If you know, if I divide, okay, this is important, okay, this is important. What if, can I do that? Yeah, I can do that. Cool. Let's just say I am given a number which is nothing but 13. Okay. I want 3 and I want 10 alag, right? So ones place, how can it be taken out? It can be taken out as num mod 10. What will it be? It will be nothing but 3, right? And tens place, how can it be taken out? Math, or let me not write this. I can say 13 divided by 10 and take the C and take the floor of it. It will be nothing but 10, or you can say 1, sorry, not 10, 1. Correct. Anything divided by 10 will give you something. It will give you 1.3, and floor of it is nothing but 1. This is what it is. Ones and 10, tens and ones place, right? So similarly, my sums mod 10, my sum mod 10 will go in the list, and carry will become sum divided by 10, right? And it becomes 1. Okay. My temp 2 comes here, temp 1 comes here. 0 plus 9 should be 9, but we have a carry as well, that is 1. Again, I will take 0 here, and my carry also becomes 1. It remains 10 only. What is 8 plus 9? 8 plus 9. Now, obviously, temp moves here, temp 2 moves here, right? 8 plus 9. Although it's 17, but we still have a carryover. We still have a carryover. Okay. 17 and 18. So 8 comes here, and carryover 1 remains there. 18, right? Now, my temp 1 moves to null, but I still have something in temp 2, right? I still have something in list 2. Okay. What will it be? It will be 9. Cool. It will be 9. So 9 plus 1, I have a 10 here, right? So again, 0. I'll have a 0. So this becomes 10. And the point is, I still have a carryover, that is 1. Now, my temp2 also goes to null. But if you see, carry is still remaining. So carry will also be a node, and then this will point to null, right? And this will be the answer of it. And this will be the answer of it. We'll just return dummy.next, which will be this head. So 10800 will be the answer, sum, correct? Let's try to code it up. Or maybe first let's discuss the time complexity. I am traversing both of the list. I am traversing both of the list. But which one is the maximum list? Let's just say, I'll say that, hey, I can say that ON1 plus N2, right? I can say that, or I can say this can be equal to nothing but O of maximum of length list 1 comma list 2, right? This can also be said whichever is the maximum, I'm traveling to that extent. Space complexity, again, it can be max length L1 plus comma L2, though it can be obviously greater than this, because here you can see that there are 4 elements in this, but here are 1, 0, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements in this list plus a -1, so 6 elements. But in the worst, I mean, we are taking this as as an upper bound only, so maximum length of it. But the point is, why have I written it? We are just returning it. We are using it for our result, right? And although the space complexity should be O of 1, that is, we are not using any extra space to solve the algorithm, but we still are using it. So you can mention it in front of your interviewer that, hey, I am using an extra space, but that is to return the sum, and not, I am not using it in for my algorithm. I'm not using it for my own, solve for my solving purposes. It is for returning the answer. So yeah, it can be O of 1, or you can say that, hey, I am using an extra space, but for returning the answer. Let's just try to write the code. I'll say that, hey, T1, you become reference to list one's head, and T2 you become uh, list two's reference. Okay. Let dummy is nothing but new list node initialized with -1. Cool. Let current be at dummy, and let carry is also equal to 0. Now while my temp1 is not equal to null, or my temp2 is not equal to null, if both of them become null, then I'll stop the while loop, right? Okay. Here, my temp1 got null, but my temp2 was still going on. That is the same condition that I've written here. Okay. So I'll say that, hey, let sum is equals to 0. If there is temp1, if temp1 is not null, then I'll say sum plus is equals to t1 dot val. If T2 is there, then sum plus is equals to temp2 dot val, and sum plus is equals to carry. Very important stuff. Why am I using this? Why am I saying that if there is? To avoid the null exception. What if temp1 has already become null? What if temp1 has already, or what if temp2 has already become null, right? Then I'll just add this value or this value, right? So that is why I'm adding carry to this. Now, I had to carry. Now see, I'll say that, hey, uh, let new node is equals to new list node of, sorry, of some mod 10, right? The ones place carry is equals to math dot floor of sum divided by 10, correct? Okay. If there exists temp1, then hey, temp1 you move ahead, temp1 dot next. If temp2 exists, then hey, temp2 you move to next. Now I will say that hey, cur dot next, you become equal to my new node, and cur, you please move ahead. Correct? If carry remains, if there is a carry, then hey, uh, I'll say that hey, maybe let new node is equals to new list node of carry, right? What can be the carry? Carry can only be one at the maximum, because any two single digit can add up to maximum 9 plus 9 is 18, right? There is not a greater one single digit, right? So 9 plus 9 is 18. So carry will be one only. So that is why I'm just adding carry to it. And cur dot next is equals to new node. And cur, please move ahead, right? And this will automatically be pointing to null, because if you can see the class here, if next is mentioned, then it will be there, or else it will be null, right? Cool. And what do I need to return? I need to return my dummy dot next, because that will be my head. Let's try to run it. Great, accepted. Let's try to submit it. Accepted, right? This is what I was talking about, that hey, let's reiterate. Let's reiterate. Should be double equals to, doesn't matter, but okay. You know, uh, initialize temp1 to traverse through list1, temp2 to traverse through list2, a dummy node to form a new list altogether. Current will be pointing to the dummy because it will move to every new element, right? And carry initialize with 0. If temp1 is not equal to null or temp2 is not equal to null, till then I'll run my loop. Okay. Sum is nothing but temp1 plus temp2's value and also carry added to it. But if there is some temp2, then only add temp1's value, or if there is temp2, then only add its value. Why? Or else it will give you a basically a null exception, right? What if I was here and I will say that hey, temp1 dot value, you will say, bhai, I don't have a value. I am a null thing. Fine. Cool. That is why this condition is added. So, uh, why, and now new node, again, I've explained to you that ones place and this is tens place. Again, I added this. Why? Why did I add it? Null dot next. Does it exist? Do you think does it exist? No, right? Because anything you are pointing to a class of null, basically a function of null. Is there any function or is there anything for null? No, right? You cannot access next of null. So that is why if temp1 exists, then only temp1 you move ahead. If temp2 exists, then only temp2 you move ahead. So now current will move ahead, will point to currents next will point to the new node, and current will now move to the next node, right? And this carry, I've already explained to you that hey, if carry still exists, if there is carry more than greater than 0, then just had a new node and pointed to the current will point to new node, right? And we just return dummy dot next. I've already explained to you why we are giving this next, right? So with this, we can mark this as done. Let's add some note. Take dummy node to create a new list, and carry to take care of two-digit sum. Example 10, 11, right? Uh, take care of null pointers as well. I mean, I think that's it. That's it. I don't need any extra explanation to it. I've marked it as done. Tomorrow's question is going to be the most easiest one. Literally 2 or 3 lines of code. Literally 2 or 3 lines of code. And this is very easy. Trust me, it is very easy. So yeah, with that, we have done the second last day of our DSA challenge. I'll see you tomorrow with this question. I'm probably gonna record it just after this video. So yeah, thank you so much guys for joining in. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.